backbone of the garden are the volunteers, and a lot of them have been here since the garden started. And some volunteers have come and some volunteers have gone in that time as well. So they would usually make the decisions about what to do with the garden, about how the garden is going to develop. And they're supported in that by Ballyforan Partnership, by myself and the TOOS team. There's a good working relationship between the TOOS team members and the volunteers. So if they need a hand with something, if they need a lift or some specific job, they'll call on the TOOS team directly. Otherwise, I usually kind of give out tasks. That's how it works.
Our attitude towards volunteering and towards life in general changed a lot over the last 10 or 15 years. If you go back pre-Tiger days, there was much more of an inclination to volunteer locally. But when the good times came, everybody thought more in terms of the me rather than the us. And the idea of volunteering, of doing something for nothing, if you know, is the way that people often look at it, it always became laughable for a lot of people. Why would I do something for nothing?
Hello, my name is Gerry. I'm over here in the community garden. I'm 6 years at it and enjoyed the best 6 years I ever had. Well, I don't know about other people which way they think, but I get plenty of enjoyment out of myself. So to me, I think it's grand. If you've nothing to do, what you're going to be doing, sitting in the house all day long looking at the television or reading the paper or something, it's up to me myself. I come and go as I please myself. Nobody tells me what to do, where to go, how to do it. Do it myself. I ask people questions. I'm not afraid to ask questions. Don't ask me what things are. Someone say you have to plant this time. I plant it, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's my motto.
Interaction with people. That's the most positive thing. I'm not able to work. I was sick for a very long time, and even people scared me, and I kept the routine of coming to the garden and eventually interacting with the people in the garden, and I can honestly say I've made friends.
I think gardening is very therapeutic, you know, the physical aspect of it, being outdoors, being close to nature, those are all things that really help to lift your mood, and especially when you're working with other people. It really can give you a boost, and if you're sitting at home doing nothing indoors, depressed, you know, it can really transform your mood and sense of what you can do.
I think that the volunteers themselves get a lot out of helping on projects. I used to do a lot of volunteering myself with Dublin Community Growers, which is a network of community gardens. So I did that myself for a long time, and then I was lucky enough to actually get work. I think a lot of it was down to the fact that I've been volunteering.
There's a huge challenge out there for organisations, for community groups to reignite that spirit of volunteerism, which as a nation we were always famous for. I mean, if you look at how the state has developed over the 100 years or so that it's been there, most of the great things that happened came not from the commercial sector or even the statutory sector. They came from the community. And it's not just about unemployed people having extra time on their hands to do something. It's about everybody.
There's a huge variety of opportunities out there, and even if you only contribute in a very small way at first, it's amazing how it can build, and how as soon as you start doing something, you have more and more ideas about what you can do. It boosts your self-confidence, boosts your self-esteem, it makes you feel better about yourself, it makes you feel better overall.
It makes it all the more worthwhile coming to the garden when you're growing your vegetables. Things are growing in front of you. You know, like our tomatoes in our polytunnel, they started off from seeds. They're now that high. I know you don't get paid or anything like that, but it's time that you can spend doing something worthwhile. And I think that's what volunteering is all about.
It's not the responsibility of unemployed people to provide a voluntary workforce. It's the responsibility of us as a community to step in and do things that won't get done otherwise. There's a huge element of personal satisfaction. If you're involved in something on a voluntary basis and it's working well, you can't buy that feeling.
I've no trouble. Anything that I planted so far is after coming, so something must be going right somewhere.